So quiz funnel is basically, it starts at the very top of the funnel, if you will, being curious. So you're asking questions, right? Like, it's not this, oh, you have this problem. Great. Let's get your credit card out and pay $5,000 immediately because it feels like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
So we want to stop this proposing marriage on the first date idea because, like we haven't gotten to know each other yet. Like it's a little early for marriage. So with a quiz in general or questionnaire, you're asking questions, what's the problem that you're trying to solve? Kind of bring them in with, hey, what's your number one thing stopping you from making six figures? Or, what's your superpower? What's your, coaching type?
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode is sponsored by freemoneytipsbook.com. freemoneytipsbook.com. Head over there, download your free ebook, 7 Unshakable Tips to Get You Started on Your Financial Journey. Today's episode, I get to interview Catharine O'Leary, and she is known as the Quiz Queen. And we're going to talk about quiz funnels and how you need to utilize this technique to really explode your business. Hi, Catharine. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. How are you today?
I am good, Angela. Thank you so much for having me on. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. And I know we just talked about this offline, but where are you located right now?
I'm about an hour and a half north of Toronto in Ontario, Canada. And today, and for those of you who are listening later, you can still appreciate this. It's cold. It's mine is a bazillion, as I say. So yeah, I'm a little cranky about that, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, you're indoors and that's what we can control, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. So you are known as the Quiz Queen. Tell me about your story, how you got to what you're doing today.
Yeah, so I didn't grow up wanting to be the quiz queen. I wanted to be the Wolf of Wall Street. So I went through school and I came out with a master's degree in economics, and I went to work in corporate. And I actually was lucky enough to find myself in a boutique market research firm. So we we did a lot of consumer behavior analysis, so market research and consumer insights. And I actually had a 30-year career in corporate, all within that, market research and consumer insights, which just means that I asked a lot of questions to a lot of people worldwide, and helped corporations understand that information better so that they could build new products or, tweak their marketing messaging or sales conversations, whatever that happened to be. I left corporate and decided to start network marketing. Love the products, love the people, love the travel, all the things, and quickly found out that I was absolutely 100% terrible at lead generation. It was it was a horror show. It was just terrible. I was, doing all the paid ads that I shouldn't have been doing, no return on investment. I was throwing my own time into sales calls that didn't go anywhere, which can be really deflating and kind of soul sucking. And I was just chasing people to hope it, and I was selling personal development courses. I mean, why would you chase people for personal development courses? And I came to that point where a lot of entrepreneurs come to, where the rubber hits the road, and you got to decide, either you fix this or you go back to corporate. And for me, that meant getting back in the car for 3 hours a day. And I just made the decision. I just realized that there are not enough podcasts and audiobooks in the world to get me back in the car for 3 hours a day. So I had to figure it out. I had to figure out this client attraction thing, this lead generation thing. So I went on a quest and I looked at a bunch of different things. And what I realized was there are a lot of platforms. There's a bazillion ways to market your business. I just wanted a way to kind of harness it all and make sure that I was actually talking to qualified people, because that's where I'd run into trouble before, was talking to all the brain pickers and the tire kickers and the freebie seekers, and I was just kind of done with that. So when I found quiz funnels, I thought, oh, this is how I can actually use my corporate, knowledge and expertise and translate that into an entrepreneurial, product and service for people. I wasn't sure how to do that before, which is why I got into the direct sales. So I tried it on my business, my direct sales business, and I tripled my leads and I doubled my sales with my quiz. And I immediately thought, well, great, that must be a fluke, because that's what you think in the first time out, right? So I did a few quizzes for entrepreneurial friends of mine who had businesses, and when they started getting the similar results, I realized I was onto something, and I really liked it, and it was in my background, it was in my wheelhouse. I can think about questionnaires and quizzes all day long in my sleep. And I moved into doing that full time. And so now coaches, podcasters, and broadcasters hire me to help them, get more clients, keep them longer, and, stop just searching endlessly for new clients, and start retaining people, because they're tired of those unqualified leads and stagnant
Mhm.
sales and offers that just don't ever kind of sell out. We want our stuff to sell out. We want to be full, our programs to be full, and that's what I help people do now.
Yeah, and I think, now we're very aware of those types of sales funnels. We know what they are. We know when we're in one, and we just don't bite as much. So,
Yeah.
for the audience that perhaps doesn't know the difference, what is a quiz funnel?
So quiz funnel is basically, it starts at the very top of the funnel, if you will, being curious. So you're asking questions, right? Like, it's not this, oh, we have this problem. Great. Let's get your credit card out and pay $5,000 immediately because it feels like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
So we want to stop this proposing marriage on the first date idea, because like we haven't gotten to know each other yet, like it's a little early for marriage. So with a quiz in general, or questionnaire, you're asking questions, what's the problem that you're trying to solve. Kind of bring them in with, hey, what's your number one thing stopping you from making six figures? Or what's your superpower? What's your coaching type? Something that your ideal client wants to know the answer to, is something that they're waking up at 3 a.m. kind of going, I just wish I could, or how do I? And then asking them some questions around, what have you tried? What are you doing now? Do you have a team in place? What resources do you have? What do you love doing? What don't you love doing? And from those questions, being able to segment people, or put them into outcomes where, oh, you know what, maybe you're a business coach and you're helping people get to seven figures. That's a big ask, and there's a lot that goes into that. So maybe for you, Angela, it's all about mindset, but for Thomas, it's all about the systems and the processes. And then for somebody else, it might be about team and leadership. It all goes under the umbrella of getting to seven figures. But now that business is meeting you where you're at with mindset, meeting Thomas where he's at with conversations around systems and processes, and meeting me where I'm at for team. They all go, like, everyone needs to learn all of it, but at least you're starting that conversation with, I heard you. That's what clients want, right? They want to be heard. They're looking for you. They want to find you. Like, I've heard you. I understand. It's a big conversation. Your piece of it where you need to start is here. Let's have a further conversation about all the other pieces as well. as making sure you get over this one piece. And
Mm.
then you can invite them to the webinar or the masterclass or the sales conversation. So all the quiz funnel does is adds a conversation in between your marketing, whether that's Facebook, wherever you're generating your prospects. It filters them through a quiz to make sure that they're qualified leads, so that when they get to you, they're ready. Like, they kind of know you. They're already bought into whatever it is you're going to be talking about. They're not cold. They're actually kind of warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's awesome too, because as someone who also goes through some leads, it can be not the greatest feeling when I'm talking to leads that aren't in what I'm gonna, what I can help them with. And so when you get into that momentum of no's, it's kind of tough to get through that. So as a business owner, I don't want to hear a lot of no's. Then I'm like, oh, I don't feel great about what I'm doing, maybe questioning what I'm doing. But it's not because of what I'm doing, it's because the people I'm speaking to aren't the right people for what I have to offer.
Exactly. And it can be, I mean, I did it, right? Like, it can be soul sucking. I mean, I was hiding under the covers, like, please don't make me get on the phone again, because I was just talking to I was not talking to my ideal clients. And then when you do start talking to your ideal clients, it might be no, but it's more often no, not yet, as opposed to no, like, this is a totally random conversation and it's never gonna, fly. You're still going to hear no, but it's usually no, not yet, or no for that. What else do you have? Which is an easy conversation then to have.
Yeah, love that too. Um, Now, some people might think that this type of services that you offer for businesses is going to be super expensive. But I'm sure that you have, all lines that you work with and all budgets that you work with. So talk a little bit about that so that the audience understands this isn't something that you have to spend like tens and tens of thousands of dollars on.
No, it's not, but it is something that is more than just a checklist or a blueprint. It's actually, the way I like to see it positioned, is part of your strategy. So, regardless of how you're marketing, if you're, doing social, if you're doing networking, if you're doing speak to sell, if you've got JV partners, joint venture partners, your quiz can go with all of that. So it really becomes part of your strategy. The things that hurt my soul the most is like seeing a quiz that just sits on a website and doesn't do anything, because quizzes need traffic. They need their, your ideal clients to go with them, through them. And then also on the back end, make sure that you have a plan for using the data. So for me, when we're starting with somebody and getting a quiz up and running, there's, a few programs that, my team and I have. One is a course. So a do-it-yourself course with some Q&A time. And then there's a done with you strategy where I work directly with you. And then of course there's a done for you strategy for those people, that are like, oh my God, please don't just do it and give it back to me. And thank you. I don't want to know. Which is great. That's fine. So that can range anywhere, from 6 to 8 weeks to, we can do it really fast if it's my team and I doing it. And it ranges in prices to, fit most budgets.
Yeah, and I love that too. And the options that you give too, because some of us, want to go figure it out, but we don't know how to. So, being able to watch something and to learn about it. And then also sometimes I kind of want to know a little bit about what you're doing. And then other times I just, especially for me, the lead generation thing, also not my skill set. So I'd rather just give it to someone else and say, I don't need to know how it's done. It's like the electricity. I don't need to know how
Exactly.
the light turns on. I just want to be able to flip a switch. Like, I'm not interested
Exactly.
in that.
That's all I want to know. I want to know when I flip the switch, the light comes on. That's all I need. So I want to know when the quiz is launched, and, it's all like connected to my marketing strategies, that everyone comes through is vetted and ready to go. And that's what we can do.
Yeah. So a lot of people talk about AI technology, and I think there's so much technology out there that most of us just don't know how to utilize in our business. How are you incorporating AI in what you're doing?
Oh wow, AI is my jam. I love AI. I love ChatGPT right now. I'm geeking out on it. So I actually have created a bot to help people create their quizzes.
Mm.
So it has it kind of makes the steps a little easier for people to go through. So when you do the quiz or the course, you get access to that to kind of as a side by side conversation on developing your quiz. The other thing that I just learned about actually recently, or somebody gave me the idea for, was actually creating assistants or GPTs, individual GPTs for each segment, so that your segment, so if you're talking to seven-figure people that want to get to seven figures and they're challenged with their mindset, your conversation doesn't have to end with the quiz. So you can actually give your clients a GPT that is specifically for mindset and getting to seven figures, so they can continue asking it questions. And you've programmed it to answer those questions and continually, like, you can continue the dialogue. So there's a host of things that AI can help you with. It's not the end all to be all. I don't trust it to write the best of questions. I trust it to brainstorm and get started with questions. And for me, then to be the filter of, does that make sense? And, is that a good question, or is it leading, or is it, an unfinished? But it's a great time saver for at least getting started.
Yeah, and you really have to know how to use it too. You have to know how to ask it questions, how to phrase your questions. A lot of that, is still being developed and new, but it's definitely a useful tool for most of us to do anything in business anymore.
It is not a fly by the seat of your pants. Like it's not going away. Like if you have not invested the time to start learning now, you need to. As an entrepreneur, because it can help you write copy, it can help you with sales calls, it can help you with the customer experience journey, it can help you with customer questions. It's staying around, so you might as well get on the bandwagon now, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm one of those that do not like to learn new technology, and even I'm working on embracing it because, like you said, it's not going away. And there's definitely things for me as a podcast host that it can help me with as well.
Yeah, for my podcast, I love using it for show notes. I love using it for actually posting. So it'll write me a Facebook post and a LinkedIn post and an Instagram post. And I love it for like summarizing, just like summarizing what was going on in the transcript and so on. So yeah, it's highly useful for podcasters.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself with the business in the future? Where else would you like to build out?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I am on track for this year to hit $1 million in sales. And building out more of those high ticket offers that have a lot more strategy and are a little deeper relationships. They go for 1 or 2 years at a time. And also building out the kind of the client retention side of the business. So once you have the data, what do you do with it? Like, because that's where the gold really is. That's where where nobody else has that information but you, and you can really leverage it. So I'm building that out as well. And then, you know what? My mantra, my mission in life is just to have awesome experiences. So traveling and meeting great new people and having great conversations, I'm all about that.
Yay, sounds good too. And just this is also something that's not going away. We're always gonna be on social media of some type, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it might morph a little bit, but I think the next big thing is going to be community. So as AI takes over, I think digital courses may go a little bit by the wayside, in the sense that people will just build the AIs to do whatever you need. Like, you don't have to learn how to do a quiz. The AI will do it for you. You just have to answer these certain questions. You don't have to learn how to do a Facebook challenge. The AI will do it for you. I think that those kind of courses might be slowly taken over and be more efficient. So then it becomes, well, what's next? And I think what's next is really, it's about connecting and being in a community of like-minded people, and really having that engagement back and forth. So, how do we kind of up our human connection?
Yeah, and I've heard that a lot too, especially post-COVID. People feel like
Yeah.
being in business, we want to get back to in-person connections, collaborations, and talking to people because we were so forced to be isolated. And I don't think a lot, I mean, for me, absolutely. I didn't like being isolated. And then now I'm ready, a couple of years later to get back really into in-person collaboration stuff. So that's awesome too. Great. Any business tips you have for someone perhaps thinking about how do they build out funnels, get lead generation, maybe something that they can think about doing first before they hire your company?
So the absolute first thing that you need to understand is what is the 3 a.m. question of your ideal client. So before you do anything, make sure you understand your ideal client and what they're struggling with. So what their pain points are, what their desires are, what their dreams are, because that's going to help you with all of your messaging. So really understanding, I call it the 3 a.m. question, but like that, at 3 a.m., what do you wake up? What do you have sweats about? And the other trick to that is, what do they say in their language? Because a lot of the times as entrepreneurs, we've solved the problem that we help other people solve. So we're on the other side. We're on the solution side. We don't talk about it the same way. We don't use the same language. So really understanding, because for example, I can guarantee you there are probably 3 people on the planet that wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh my God, I wish my quiz funnel was optimized. It's me. It's 2 other guys, right? Like that's it. And being generous with the 2 others. Nobody says that. They wake up saying, how do I get more qualified leads? How do I get more clients? That's what my messaging needs to concentrate on. It's not, how do I make my quiz funnel better? Because nobody cares, right? How do I make, the process of problem to solution easier? And that's what people care about. So making sure that you understand your 3 a.m. Question of your ideal clients, not of everyone. If you serve everyone, you serve no one. Don't go down that path, right? Make sure that you niche down. The riches are in the niches. And then just understanding that will help your messaging. That will keep you on target for your products and innovations and so on. That's what, everyone should do first.
Yeah. Great. That's awesome. All right. So, Catherine, I have a fun question for you. If you could pick a superpower, what would it be and why?
I think it would be teleportation. Like just being able to snap my fingers and be in a climate that is not minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, I think that like getting rid of commuting completely, or air travel, or sorry, airlines, but and just being able to like suddenly be in Spain or suddenly be in, Sydney, Australia, that would be cool.
Yeah, I would love that too. And I'm not sure, would you use it to go forwards or backwards in time, or just in current environment?
I think that would be dangerous.
Yeah.
I would say present. Like, let's keep everyone present. Like, stay in the present. Don't go back and try to fix things. You're going to muck them up. And going forward would probably just scare you. So I think we should stay in the present.
Stay in the present. Awesome. All right, Catherine, if our audience wants to get in touch with you, learn more about what you are doing, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, the best way is actually to learn more about quizzes and to find out, what a quiz can help your business with, is to go to quizformybiz.com. Again, it's quizformybiz.com, all written out. And there you'll see a quiz and you'll go through it, and you'll be able to get some insights as to, maybe where a quiz could actually help your business grow further in 2024.
Awesome. It has been such a pleasure to learn more about quiz funnels, and I really appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you, Angela, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks. Thank you so much for tuning into Empower Her Money podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast, and leave a review wherever you are tuning in.